Good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing well. We got a few people in here already. That's great to see. Always happy to see when we got people waiting for the live stream. If you are here, be sure to give us a thumbs up. It helps out the channel a lot. Tells that mean old algorithm you actually like the work that we're doing. Whew, it has been a busy week. Been a good week though overall. A few ups and downs. Some of those we're definitely going to get into. But do remember, if you'd like to support the channel, to head over to workingdragonmystic.com. There you can find the Working Dragon Mystic Layer community over on Locals. Click that tab, become a member for free. You'll see all the posts and the updates that are public. You'll also see things that, like workshops or something, that you might be able to get in one time. But the best value there is to become a monthly supporter. It's only $10. And our paid supporters get access to supporter only content, supporter only videos, supporter only live streams. They get, we're going to be doing workshops and stuff. We've done a few already. They get access to those workshops and the replays, again, for the same price. So essentially, they're getting in free. They get early access to classes, courses when they come out. They get supporter only updates. We're also going to be doing some giveaways this year. Me and the admin have been talking. We got some great ideas for regular interval updates that will be for supporters only. A lot of great prizes have already been talked about. The supporters also get a monthly spell working for prosperity, well-being, health, those kinds of things, as well as the option, if they have a specific need, there's a list of them in the supporter perks that they can click on and actually request a custom spell working for them. They just got to let me know in the comments when we do the monthly post. If you go over to Locals, you'll see all the perks listed. It's a lot, and we're still adding more. So if you want to support us, that's the place to do it. And this day and age, honestly, we're hoping to get crowdfunded, so we're not beholden to any one particular social media site or something like that. All right, everybody. Hope you got your coffee. Let's see who we got in here. Jade, good to see you. Chad, good to see you. Immortal, glad you could make it. Dragon of the West, welcome. Violet Star, Cookie Camel, or Cami. Autistic Magic, Violet Star, good to see you. Gree, good to see you. Levi, welcome. And there's Jade dropping some links for us. Thank you, Jade. Those will be a huge help, I'm sure. So people can find it a lot easier. Onika, welcome. Skilled, good to see you. Magic Hour, welcome. And Brennan, welcome. Vitki and Nami Jack, welcome. All right, everybody. That's a lot of people in here. Again, give us a thumbs up if you're here. Helps the channel out a lot. We need all the help we can get because the way YouTube is adjusting their monetization, the channel's getting hit. We've never made a lot, but it's going down. All right. So let's hit on one of the things that I want to talk about first. So in the Working Dragon Mystic Layer community, some of you all will start to see a post for a daily topic. Me and the admin have talked, and we've all agreed that we have a lot of thoughts on our brains about different things and whatnot. And we thought it'd be a great idea if we made a list of all these things we randomly think about, and then once a week we each share one and discuss it in the community. This is going to be fun because some of these are things that not only are they open for discussion, but they're things you can actually apply that very day. We started this today, so if you go over to Locals, you'll see the post Halloween did today's, and several people have already started to apply it because it's applicable to daily life. And this is something you will see more and more going forward, more things like this. I am super stoked about this, okay? All right, the next thing, and this one kind of breaks my little heart, not gonna lie. I have just recently found out that there was a recent politician-backed thing where if you do any commercial filming in state or federal parks, you got to get all these permits and everything else. Since I am a YouTube channel, since I have the courses, those things, anything I film is considered commercial. So I looked into it. The permits start now, not if you get them. This is just like if you try to get them, it could start at like $100 and then go up. We're a small channel. I can't afford to pay $100+ every time I need to shoot a video or film a segment or just like one segment for one of the online courses. So that I'm a little pissed. Hugely pissed because I had a lot of shots that I was planning to do for the upcoming Norse course that I'm hoping to start filming in the next month or so. Outdoors, right? So that's probably not going to happen. I'm going to look for another viable option if I can, but I'm also looking at reworking the outdoor shots. Many of you know I shot a few, one or two videos in the garage for the evocation course, and it actually came out decent. I mean, it's a garage, so the audio wasn't uber perfect, but it came out really good, all things considered. That's one location I'm looking at using for some of these other things because it would still do it. One person actually asked, can't you just shoot it in your room because you don't need to get outside and all that for all this? You can do these rituals in your home. That is true. But I am wanting to try and get some of these shots in nature if possible. So I'm working on that and working on making those adjustments where needed. So bear with me. Just want to give you all a heads up on that one. Okay. So we'll see how I do it. But overall, I mean, any of the rituals that's going to be in this course are going to be applicable to anyone, anywhere. And because of that, the outdoor shots aren't a necessity. So I'm not going to delay the course or anything like that. I just got to rework the plans in my head and stuff. That'll take a little bit, but not a long time. Like if I sit down and just give it a week, I'll have it fixed. I just wanted to let you all know and be honest because I was excited about those. And if I don't say anything and you all end up getting the course when it comes out, and you're like, where's all those outdoor shots? I want you to know why. I want to be open and honest. Also, let you know what the channel's doing. That's why we're here at Magickal Coffee Hour, not only for Q&A, but, updates on what's going on. There we go. Let's see here. Hey, people. Hi. Topic of the day seems fun. Are you planning to do the New Year's resolution thing or no? Yes, actually, I am. Stay tuned for that. We had so many things that we had to talk about. That one kind of got missed. But yeah, keep an eye out for the New Year's resolution thing. I will look to, I'll probably post about it once a week. So expect to probably see the first post about it tonight or tomorrow in the community tabs. Okay. But yeah, we are doing that. We are doing that for sure. Man, that's ridiculous. Why would a permit be? It's stupid. It's seriously. I can't get into my thoughts on it because we don't do politics, but it's dumb. Let's go with that. Yes, it did. Garage filming. Okay, so you have seen the garage one, Violet. Cool. All right. So at least someone has seen that for sure. Because it was toward the end. I didn't know if anyone had seen that yet. When you rub your eyes and patterns when you meditate with Dragon. I don't rub my eyes, but you'll see patterns during meditation behind your eyes. Sometimes it can be the blood movement through the eyelids. It can be a lot of different things, or it can just be the meditation. It's hard to say which. But yeah. The whole chat. Be blessed with coffee. Hey, Angela, good to see you. Everybody's still saying howdy. That's what I like to see. So many happy people. Coffee and I don't know about that glitter part, but hey, coffee's good. Let me add. It looks like hallucinations, but I'm not on anything except for the occasional gram of caffeine. Honestly, just if it's not distracting, go with it, because usually as you get into a meditative state or trance, your mind will start creating subtle nonsense patterns that can even shape into imagery. So it's not an unusual thing, Vicky. I can't wait to see that the resolution thing and start it. Amen. Hey, go ahead and start it. And just so you all know, let's talk about that a little, shall we, Greg? That's a great topic. So the New Year's challenge, what we're going to do. We are going to do 2 of them this year. We're going to run one from January to the 6 months. So let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June. So we're going to go January to June with one, all right? We're going to go all the way into June. And then we're going to do a second one as well this year. I'm wanting to break it up into 2s. So there's going to be 2 6-month challenge but of course this is going to be the new year. Now, ideally, this is going to be about self-mastery, self-improvement, and occult practices, which some people you could easily say are all one and the same. But find something that you can apply these to and work on them and strive to it. And the reason we're going to be doing this is you will find we're going to be posting and talking about these on a regular basis. You'll see me posting in the community layer forum. I'm also going to be using the community tab here on YouTube to post weekly on it, because many of you know over at the Working Dragon Mystic layer, because it is such a private area where we can talk about anything because of free speech. At this time, only the supporters can actually respond to posts, which a lot of you are supporting us, and I do thank you for that. But we're going to put it in both locations, because the YouTube community tab, anyone can post there. Just sign up for the channel and you'll get notifications. Make sure you got notifications turned on for the community tab, by the way. And go check the community tab regularly, because we post a lot of stuff there, people. And we're going to constantly give updates on this stuff. Now, one of the things that had me worried is we used to do these at Gilded. The Gilded community is slowing down quite a bit. And there's also been a few issues with occult channels on Gilded. And I know a few people are worried that Gilded's going to do what Discord did to us. I don't think so. I hope not. But because of that, we are moving some of our main large things over to Working Dragon Mystic layer supporter community, as well as the community tab. The community tab, as long as YouTube don't get rid of us, that'll be there. So that's a good thing. And we are looking for other viable options as well, including, and this is the cool one for me, people, including Jade's been under the weather. I need her to help with this, and I think she's finally up on the mend. So we might be testing it this week. But we are looking at putting a community, an actual community for the school, that as long as you're a student at the school, you have access to that community where you can post, you can get updates, all those things. This won't be like the supporter community. This will just be a Working Dragon Mystic community. And since the school is kind of the foundation of what we do here, anyone can actually access that, because if you remember, we have a free Arcane Sight class. So anyone who registers for that class could access that community. Currently, the website that we use for the school is in beta testing, but we are working on looking at it and seeing if we're going to go ahead and launch there anyways. If we launch there, I will let everyone know. It'll be in the community tab here. It'll be over at locals. For those in Gilded, it'll be over there too. I will make an announcement, make sure everyone knows that we launched it, so that you can use the free Arcane Sight course, if you already haven't purchased a course, to get in there. And you can sign into your, I think it's Teachable's account, and find it there and join us over there. And that will allow us all the same perks as well. We got a lot of things to grow this community. We really do. And I actually saw up here somewhere, sorry I missed it, someone asked why there's no good occult channels. I've been asking around. Honestly, a lot of the channels I found all disappeared, and it kind of sucks. And I'm having a hard time finding good ones. And some of the creators I used to like, they just stopped making them. Or they're making them so far in between now that you can't really say you're following them. And the truth be told, it comes to time investment. So because of many of the social media changes that have happened, which when you get on YouTube as a creator, you sign the YouTube terms of agreement and you abide by those. Okay. So when I signed up, I knew what I was getting into. And they have stated in those terms that they can alter things as they see fit when they need to. That's what you agree to. And I can't get mad for something I signed up for, right? All I can do is evaluate, is it still worth it to me? A lot of creators, for them, it's not worth it to create the content and to be able to do it, especially with the more and more restrictive they get on what we can talk about and stuff. I do believe the World Health Organization team up may have hurt a lot of creators because of the way they handled it. There's entire channels on home remedies and herbal remedies and stuff that have basically disappeared or got demonetized overnight because of it. And if you think about it, witchcraft and all that, we use a lot of home remedies. Now, because of the way my Magick is set up and the way we talk about it, I don't have a lot of those videos. But that being said, we have been uploading a lot more home remedies and stuff like that over at the locals community because we don't have those restrictions. Jade's been doing a lot of those. So any of those, in order to avoid, getting hit by those restrictions, will be uploaded over there. But because of all these newer restrictions, it's just become a pain in the ass. And when you sit down and you figure out how much time it takes to record a video, to edit a video, to brainstorm an ideal, to outline those ideals, all these things, it is a huge, huge time commitment. And with the revenue drop and the restrictions on what we can talk about and stuff like that, I've noticed some of them just quit and go about their normal lives because most occultists, this is not even their full-time job. YouTube's not what I do. YouTube helps me share the message and all that stuff. But when it comes to the money side of it, it's never been good. The school has always been truly the heart and soul of Working Dragon Mystic. And honestly, the community is also the heart and soul. The YouTube channel lets me put content out there, put information out there for anyone who is wanting to learn or wanting to better themselves, and let people know there's a community, let people know there's a school out there. And that's honestly it. And even I've hit burnout when it comes to filming. One of the things I'm trying this year, in fact, is I'm going to try and do, I think I mentioned this last week in the live. We're going to be doing some videos on Tuesday. Our Tuesday videos usually release, I think it's around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, maybe. Time zones get crazy. Anyway, I'm going to do some live streams on Tuesdays on video topics because I think community interaction will help with those videos. And they're going to be self-mastery videos. They're going to be philosophy videos. The series is essentially going to be called Mage Minded. They will be live streams and they will be replayable. So if you're looking for the playlist, look for the Mage Minded playlist. And I will be going live at the same time we do Magickal Coffee Hour. So wherever you're at, when Magickal Coffee Hour comes on, that's when those will be on. And the reason I'm doing that is that's later in the afternoon. You can be off work in order to catch it. That way more people can be there. And we're going to be testing to see how Tuesday lives work. There's not really any editing or anything. I just have to have the ideal. I have to have my notes and I have to have my personal experience and come in and talk to you all about it and do it a little bit off the cuff. This will save me a little time for other things as far as filming courses and helping out and doing what I do most of the time. And I think that would be a great thing. And I think it'll actually help grow the channel because it becomes more of that interactive community discussion. I truly do. So we're going to be testing that out. Now, some videos will still be pre-recorded. And those you'll see when they pop up normally. Stuff like the Goetic series, the new Angelic series. All those will be pre-recorded because I'll be honest with you, I can't get the uns and the script and the sigils up on the screen if I'm on live stream. I'm just not that technically savvy. So those series will still be pre-recorded, which will also be nice because if I pre-record those and set it up right, I can actually stagger it so that I can have a week off, which would be kind of cool. And we will still have Magickal Coffee Hour. These live streams are not replacing Magickal Coffee Hour. Let me make that clear. Let me make that clear. They are not replacing Magickal Coffee Hour. Y'all still have to put up with me drinking coffee and rambling on Sundays. Okay? But it is those restrictions. There's a few YouTubers I knew who left for those. They got burned out. Wasn't worth it. Some of them have shifted content. Some people wanted to create something different. They got tired of creating occult content and they wanted to try and do some other stuff. And that's legit. Being a content creator is hard. And I'll be honest, I don't like it. You want the truth. When it comes to just creating content, I don't like that side. What I do love, and the reason I'm still here, the reason I'm still doing what I'm doing is hands down, it's the community, it's the ability to help others, and it's the ability to share what I've learned and archive it and put it in a place where people can find it. Hopefully for many, many years to come. That's why I do it. And that's what drives me. And luckily for you all, that will continue to drive me. Will I ever hit that point like the others? I don't know. I hope not. But if we look at my stubbornness, spitefulness, whatever you want to call it, probably not. I should probably take more days off. That's something a few of my friends keep drilling in me. Make a little bit more time for me. But at the same time, we're still going to be here for a while. Hope that answers the question a little bit. Whoa, I missed a lot. Sorry, I was rambling. But also safety if you're driving. You know what I mean? Okay, I don't know what that's about. Dude, same. Okay, squirrels having fun up in here. Hey, Schmidt, it's good to see you. Where Raven, good to see you. I have noticed that it's way harder to find occult channels info on this app. That might be in what I put. Yeah, I honestly, I don't think YouTube's pushing them. Occult channels don't make for good advertising, and YouTube's algorithm pushes what is watched a lot, gets the views, and makes good for advertising. And occult channels, even the successful ones, don't get the views of other things, and they're just not pushing it. Like I have literally spent months searching for good occult channels, so I'm constantly using those search terms. But the things that are holding my interest are, I love the outdoors and stuff like that, and researching. So even though, like, if you actually looked at the time spent searching on YouTube to what I actually watch, the occult should be the primary thing. I see no occult recommendations, but I do see plenty of outdoor recommendations on stuff that some of it I didn't even click. Like I watch a lot of YouTube in the mornings when I'm drinking my coffee. And I don't know if you've used YouTube on TV, but when you do, you scroll over. If you're just looking at it, reading the title, it'll start playing the thumbnail or video a little bit. It's counting that short as me watching it. And because of that, there's a lot of crap I'm not interested in. And some of it I am, but it's just like, I didn't watch that video. But the things that, like the occult, they're just not pushing it. It's not a big topic right now. And there are a lot of people who may try and take the conspiracy road. They're trying to hide it. They're trying to keep it from the people. It's not that. There's a lot of things that are crazy this day and age, but right now it literally, it's about there's not the audience to push it to, and there's not the ad revenue. And at the end of the day, it's a business. And Google, YouTube, all these places, they've been hit with some lawsuits, and they got to focus on that money to keep it up and running, because the servers that YouTube is, those are massively costly to maintain. So I do get it. I get it. But that means as a content creator who is trying to share these topics, it's doubly important that I build a community that we can all connect with and talk with and share, as opposed to just hoping the search engine's going to do the job. Hope that helps. Quest. How would someone work in the Fey realm, and what dangers and benefits are there? Immortal. How would someone work in the Fey realm, and what? So to work in the Fey realm, you could. Astral travel is going to be able to get you to work in the Fey realm on a minor level, but a functional level for a beginner at the very least. Unless you're doing astral travel, you're not in the Fey realm. So the Fey realm won't even overlap the Dream realm. So it's not really, I can't recommend dream work in any shape, form, or fashion on that one. So you're going to need astral travel at the bare minimum. And you're going to need to have some way to access it. And there's no surefire guarantee do this to access the Fey realm, unfortunately. Usually you're going to need an escort to get you in. This means you're going to have to befriend a Fey somehow. And that can get tricky, as working with the Fey is tricky. You know how that goes. But once you get that initial invite and everything, and you get that access, you would continue to work in there. As to the dangers, the dangers are aplenty. The Fey realm is a very dangerous place. It is not Disneyland fairies. The borders are literally protected by red caps, who their entire point of existence is murder hobos. That's all red caps are. They just, if you cross the border in any shape, form, or fashion, even by accident, if you don't have permission to be in the Fey realm, they have permission to off you your subscription. They are awful little, and they're not by any means the worst thing you're going to run into. And breaking the rules and the laws of the Fey, even accidentally, unknowingly, they don't give a shit. Once you're in the Fey realm, you're bound by those laws. All those things can get you in trouble energetically. So you could end up cursed. You could end up sick. I mean, they will take their pound of flesh when you screw with them. And the more you break the laws, the more you screw up. And depending on the type of Fey or the law you break, that can go from, it's never a 0. It's always going to start at a 10, bare minimum 10. It's going to suck. And it can go from a 10 to over 9,000 quick. So there's plenty of dangers. And so many, in fact, it's hard to articulate which ones. But illness, harm, accident proneness, unaccounted for injuries, mental illness, insanity, there's a lot. Angela, thank God we'd miss rambles and coffee. No problem. I actually enjoy doing these Sundays. Have you ever worked with the Valkyrie? If you have, which one would you call on for protection? I have worked with Valkyries. However, if I was going to call on any entity for protection, I'd probably call on Thor, to be honest, or Freya, Queen of the Valkyries. The Valkyries I work with the most, I do not have the permission to give their names. They're not in any of the sagas or the Eddas. So unless I get their permission, I can't give their names. I have enjoyed my work with the Valkyries. In fact, part of the Norse course, I'm going to go deep in working with the Valkyries, how to connect with the Valkyries. And this is one case where every person does have a Valkyrie assigned to them in some fashion. Now, don't think holy guardian angel sitting there protecting you, stopping you from doing stupid shit. Yes, Valkyries will protect you. Yes, Valkyries will help you if you develop that relationship. The reason you have a Valkyrie assigned to you is because guess what? They're there to carry your ass away when you die. So they're there to watch you. And they're not even there to carry everyone away, because if you don't deserve certain things, they won't carry you off. They'll just leave your ass. They are kind of just watching, observing, taking notes, reporting. And that's all being calculated, because you got to remember all souls are carried either by the Valkyries or are carried on and have to travel to Helheim themselves, if you will. And Freya, when it comes to the honored dead, Freya gets first pick before Odin, even because of that. So the Valkyries do play a huge role in this. But they're also in the sagas, most, if not all of them, were once mortal. So why are you making noises? Stop making noises. So yeah, I don't have the names to give. I would actually start with Freya. That'd be the best name I can get because she is the queen, and then you talk to her about protection. And if you actually want a Valkyrie to help you directly, she would be a good place to get started into meeting one and talking with it. All right. Also, remember, if you have an important question and I miss it because I know the chat is going crazy tonight, you can use the super chats. It flashes it up. Make sure I do see it. Any amount will do it. Make it flash. Any super chat of $5 or more, with or without question, enters you into spell working that I'm doing tomorrow. Also, looks up to you. Let's see. Julissa, welcome. What are some tales of having Fae in your space? I have been feeling like I may have some Fae in my space. Haven't had any pop into my sanctum or meditation. Your sanctum they can't pop into. That's unless you give them access, they can't pop into. As to your home, technically speaking, they can't enter the home without permission either. That's not to say they can't trick their way in. They're really good at that, actually. So, like, if they knock on the door and you open it and no one's there, you technically open the door, and opening the door to them is, in essence, an invitation in, unfortunately. So, unless you tell them to halt. So, if you just open in the door, look out and close it, and you've never said anything to say it wasn't an invitation, they can take that as an invitation. But it gets harder. I would recommend using your arcane senses to try and see if they're there. You can also say if anyone is here. Check out I have a video about getting rid of the Fae. Check that out and just go through that process, because if they're there and you don't know about it, they're probably not ones that you're going to want to work with. I mean, you might. It's hard to say. The reason I have problem with the signs is the signs could be the same for any entity, because it could be phantom noises, phantom smells. It could be things appear to be moved, or things being hidden and then showing back up. And the thing is, every entity I know of, especially dragons, have these same traits. And I mean, granted, dragons are a little less annoying, but it gets tricky because of that, because so many entities do these things to interact with the physical world. Just because you're seeing these things doesn't make it a Fae. And I've always tried to find a simplistic way of diagnosing Fae, if you will, without having to work with them and know the Fae very specifically. And sadly, so far, I haven't found any. I haven't. I've seen a lot of books that make a lot of claims, but then if you just look at the book and you read it and you're like, well, a human spirit can do that. A dragon does that. Hell, Loki does that. I mean, the certainty falls apart when you start looking at a larger spectrum, unfortunately. Will you have any schools/classes to help work with Boone? I'm looking to grow the connection and becoming clairvoyant. Levi, we have a free arcane sight class, which clairvoyance is actually your arcane senses. That particular course is free. As to working with Boone, we have a evocation class also. The evocation class teaches you evocation, teaches you how to master evocation, how to develop it, how to develop all three types. Boone is one of the entities even included in the Spirit Codex. And if you work through that class, then you not only figure out how to work better with Boone, but you work specifically with any entity to develop those. So that would be we already have that. As to am I planning a specific workshop on Boone at this time? No. We have so many other things that it would be hard to start dedicating workshops to specific entities of the Goetia. But check out the evocation course, because technically speaking, that will help you work deeper with any entity. Angela, sorry to the Valkyries for what they're probably watching humanity. Oh, they get a giggle. They get a giggle. Don't worry too much about the Valkyries. We're pretty much like a sitcom to them at this point. Let's see, Dragon of the West, in what way off you kill you astrally? Technically, in astral travel, they can't actually harm you. The worst they do is kill your astral body when then you pop back up in your normal body. Astral travel doesn't have the dangers in which everyone else wants to claim it does, luckily. But no, they can actually, the Fae can gain access to you physically. So you got to be careful about that. Leaving their realm and leaving the astral doesn't. If you've wronged them, you've just opened them their rights to hunt you. And that does include into the physical realm. And yes, it can be physical. It can be very physical. The Valkyries are not required to aid you. It doesn't matter how brave you are. If you are brave and you are a skilled warrior, they're not required to. No, that's something that is in the sagas quite a bit. Somebody else beat me to that. Rendani beat me to the evocation course. Yep. Alex, let's see. Are there any rituals I could do in the snow? How about any spirits related to the snow? Just curious. It's snowing at my location. Check out. Sorry. Check out my video on Yanali. That would be a dragon you could reach out to this time of year. Specific rituals in the snow. I mean, I don't have any specific snow direct rituals. However, some things that I have done in the snow, when we had enough of it, is like I would actually build my circle. I'd make a snowball. Now you could do it handheld snowball size, but I like to have them about that big. And I'd put one snowball at each quarter, and on that snowball, I would engrave into it the symbol of the quarter that I was using at that particular time. Or I would actually draw my circle in the snow distinctly with a stick or something if I could. One year we actually shoveled out the circle. So we shoveled the outer perimeter, we shoveled the center, so we had a ring of snow. All these are things that you can do to utilize the snow to tie in with that snow winter energy to help boost the ritual and help get you into that mood. Winter is also a great time for reflection, shadow work, and also looking forward. Looking forward to what is to come, because as winter sleeps, as earth sleeps, that which is abundant and growing is sleeping and readying itself. So it's a great time to put things into place and get them locked and loaded to take effect in the coming year. And utilizing any of these ways to set up your ritual would work. In fact, if you've done the shovel method, where we shoveled out the ring, you can inscribe in the ring with your finger or a stick all the things that you actually want to manifest, and actually focus your circle and the ring and the ritual all on the same thing. Massively, massively effective. You could do the same thing with the snowball method if you don't want to dig. I know a lot of people don't like to dig. So those are all options. If you have any of our tapestry circles, whether it be the Bolt Knot one or the Dragon's Eye Seal tapestry, which I wish I had behind me, but I don't. You can also lay those out and put the snowballs on the quarters of those if you want to. That way you have a very defined circle, because I know some people don't like the stone style 4 stone circles. Um, those are all great options. And another one is like, if you can actually, if it's safe to do this, and make sure you're dressed warm, you can actually go out into the snow when it's coming down, when it's falling. And that falling of the snow actually brings that energy down with it, meaning it's easier for you to harness those energies of winter again, for that reflection, for that ability to plant the seeds of manifestation for the year. These are all great things you could do utilizing the snow. Um, and I realize I just said I don't have any directs, but that's pretty direct in your question, ain't it? I got there. But yeah, those are things that I've done in the past and had great success with. They said we were supposed to get a ton of snow here, and we didn't so much as get frost. So they lied. Got cold as shit, but no snow. Let's see. As a beginner, do you have good advice for developing a good mental discipline? Thanks. Magic Hour. Yes. Okay. Magic Hour Movies. I want you to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you got notifications on. I am in the, I think it's this week is going to be the first one. This Tuesday might be the first one. I'm going to be starting a series called Mage Minded. Those are going to be talking about discipline. Those are going to be talking about good mental practices, good emotional practices, all those things, the philosophies that actually helps a mage really get a mastery of his mind and himself. That those masteries help. That is what that series is going to be. That being so, make sure you follow the channel and check out that series. That's going to be the ones that we're going to be doing the Tuesday live streams for. Next, I would work on actually setting goals, discipline, and working on your focus with meditation if need be. If you're constantly finding yourself distracted or wasting time for no reasons, and you're not focusing on things, make sure you actively work to focus and keep your focus. So I know a lot of people will watch TV. They've got music going. They're working on this. Their attention spread over a lot of things. Even when they go out with friends to a restaurant, you got everybody on their dumbass little phones doing this right here. They're all looking down. No one's actually paying attention. No, turn the phone off. Pay attention to the people at the table. If you're on a voice chat with a group of friends, don't also be on the internet. Don't be surfing the web, staring off into space, just half listening to the conversation. If you're in a meeting, all your attention should be on the meeting. Don't be playing a video game. Don't be reading. Don't do this. And if you hear the excuse, well, I have to be doing multiple things because I can't focus. Bingo, that's the problem. Start learning to focus. I have ADHD like you wouldn't believe. I am one of those people. So when people say I can't do it because I'm ADHD, or insert any other excuse here, you can teach yourself to focus. And it takes discipline. It takes time. It's hard, but you can do it. Those are things you can get started now. Also, don't just randomly go down the TikTok rabbit hole, as it were. Don't spend endless time on things that doesn't actually have a purpose. Try and keep your day focused. One of the things I'm going to be talking about, and I'll go into better detail then, is also every day, every morning, part of your routine, figure out what are my goals today? What is the I have to do it today? Focus on those. Whatever they are, put them down on a list, put them on a phone. If you want to use your phone to write them down, fine. Put them somewhere where they're going to be with you and you can see them. Have the things that have to get done. Put things on there that you would like to get done. You can even do this. Another great way to do this is do this on your day off. Make this list. These are the things I have to get done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. These are the things I'd like to get done. So essentially you have a list every day. That way Monday morning, because I know some of us, we got to get up, we got to have that coffee, and we got to go. We ain't got time to sit and make that list, right? First off, I'd say get up earlier so you have time to at least meditate. But when you're having your coffee, you can at least look at the list that you made earlier, review it, meditate on it, and you can make sure you're checking that off. And every week, your goal is to make sure every one of those tasks is completed with focus and discipline. Also, your sleep schedule, great area of discipline. Build a actual sleep schedule. Just don't go sleeping whatever the hell you want to. Chores around the house, those are great. No one likes to do them. It's discipline to do a chore and actually actively do it. So all these things are great things that can help you to start developing discipline in the self. I know they sound corny as shit, but they are really great. But the series, yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of philosophical stuff, a lot of practices, daily practices. We're going to be talking about some meditations that I do regularly. It's going to be a fun series. We're going to talk about a lot about developing the self, different character traits, all kinds of stuff. One of the books actually is on my desk here. So I love this book for the way it's set up. It's called Modern Bushido by Bondi Sanders. Now, he is a Christian. So the way he writes and the way he words it does come from that perspective. But that doesn't matter because this is essentially for anyone who actually wants to apply it, men and women. But because he's a Christian, because of the way he phrases a few things, some people aren't too happy with reading the book. I get that. We all have, we articulate things differently. A lot of people think I sound like an asshole. I get that. But I'm going to be covering, if you want to get the book, you can get the book. You don't need to. But I'm not going to be reading his book. I'm going to be covering, essentially, there's well over 31 chapters in here that talks about different aspects of the person, your character, your integrity, your virtue, what correct thought really is, what is right action, what's correct speech, wisdom, honor, respect, discipline, honesty, courage, endurance, justice, sincerity, self-knowledge, these kinds of concepts. So I'm not going to be reading the book, but I will be using those chapters as a guideline to go into and talk about these concepts, because these are concepts that's truly going to help you to understand who you are. Because these chapters and these ideals aren't, here's what it is, do this. That's not what it is. We're going to talk about the philosophy on it, the ideal of it. And you're going to go meditate on it and figure out what it means to you and journal that, because you're going to figure out who you are. And the more you know about you, the more you know who you are, the more mastery of self you have, and the easier it is to adjust and make fine-tunements so you can become the person you want to be. Okay? So that's all things that we got coming. Great question. And we got another super chat. Levi, are the classes lifelong access or per month access? Does the evocation class cover protection / wards? Do you see why conflicts working with Boone, Baphomet, Lilith, Lucifer, or have any advice? So anytime you purchase a course at the school, it is lifetime access. In fact, the evocation course, it even has what we call living codex in it, the spirit codex. We plan to add to that going forward. And if I add more lessons or videos to the course, all that is free. It is lifetime access. Any of the updates are free when you purchase the course. I know for the price that I charge for those classes, that's insane, but that is what I do. I truly believe in making this affordable and making it approachable. It also allows me that as my teaching develops, as I become a better teacher, I can shoot more content and add it to it. And every student, new and old, gets that content with those courses. That's one of the reasons I do those. As to, do I see a conflict? Overall, no. And in truth, there's question whether Baphomet is an entity or a construct. And of course, I'd say you could argue that with any. But I've had no conflicts with Boone, Lilith, Lucifer, or Baphomet. None. Hope that answers your question, Levi. But let's see. Would you consider dragon magic to be... No, dragon magic is not a religion. Dragons are not actually very fond of worship at all. They actually refuse to be worshipped. They hate it. Dragon magic is a practice of magic. A religion is a tenet of beliefs. Dragon magic is, here's a system. You want to work with dragons, here's a system to work with them. But at the end of the day, you're who you are, who you become, what you manifest in your life. It's you. It is you. You can't sit down and pray, oh, great dragons of the elements, would you kindly give me some money today or make sure I don't do some stupid shit? Because you know I do some stupid shit. I'm an idiot. As a man. They're going to laugh. They don't care. They're going to be like, well, here's your reminder. Don't do stupid shit today. And it's not the religious thing. They like, anytime you petition a dragon for help, they're going to expect you to do your part, period. And they will only help you if you're already helping yourself. Are there instances where that may not fully hold up, but they're not going to fix your life for you. The way you may see things listed in religions. It is, and this is the dragon's word, dragon magic is a tool. Yes, it is a system. Yes, there is a process, but it is a tool. You have to use it. You have to apply it. But it is still the builder who creates it, and you are the builder. Plain and simple. They don't want to be worshipped. They don't care. You can sit there and pray to them day and night. It will change nothing. At the end of the day, when you could say 30 years of prayers to a dragon, and if you don't do anything yourself, they're going to point that out quickly. They'll be like, well, you never did anything. So praying to the dragons as in a religious like manner is like praying to a circular saw and asking it to build your house. It ain't gonna work. Let's see. You can even do active meditations, meditating while you are doing something. Yeah, active meditations are a lot of fun. Let's see. Have a focus point. Oh yeah, it does help to have a focus point. What was that about Baphomet being a construct? So the first time we see Baphomet pop up is actually in the Crusades with the Knights Templar, if I remember correctly. That's the first time we actually see him pop up. The modern day artwork we have for him, if I remember correctly, shows up. It's far after that, and it wasn't even actually a representation of Baphomet either. And the two kind of got correlated by Anton LaVey. So we don't actually have a long-term information on Baphomet. I think I did a video on this at one point. And there's a lot of people who actually view Baphomet as more of, unless I'm thinking of the wrong entity, which I don't think I am. Nope. They view him as an actual construct because they're not even sure that the entity was the entity we thought the entity was when it comes to the Templar. There's a lot of unknowns there. And then there's a lot of, I guess you could call it subcultures that started from that forward that honestly was using the image and the name as a representation, not of an entity directly, but of a concept. And that concept slowly got more and more popular, and certain authors started to turn the concept into the ideal of an entity. And that ideal, again, forward became to the point where now the origins and the writings viewing it as a concept has been almost lost or forgotten. And it's hard pressed to find anyone who's like, no, this is definitely an entity. And when a magician starts looking back, looking at origins and sources, it starts to get watered down. And it starts to fall apart a little. But again, this is one of those things, like if you check out my video, are entities real or subconscious? You've always kind of have to wonder somewhat, does it matter? I know some of y'all don't like that question, but that is a good video because of that. Because honestly, at the end of the day, there's no way to prove it. And honestly, from my research with Baphomet and my working with Baphomet does not feel like other entities. It feels far, far less tangible. I'm out on it. That's why I was like, I try not to take a side, but like if you actually said which side of the fence, if you had to choose a side based on your information, where would you be? From my experience with other entities, my experiences anytime I've reached out to Baphomet, I would actually say it's more of a construct or egregore at this point, not an entity. That's where I would fall. But I also stay open because I may find something that changes that. Which I always tell you all to stay open-minded and consider. Always consider. But it's when Baphomet pops up, it is one of those things where I do mention that often because the history of it is important. And I think a lot of it's been twisted, even falsified through a lot of books and fiction. Like there's a lot of people, like when you actually look up information on Baphomet, there are people who have taken fictional works and stories and moved it over to his reality. And that pisses me off when I see that happen because now you don't know if what you're seeing as a reference material is reference material or if it was written by Marvel Comics. And that kind of stuff also pisses me off. But it gets hard. So always keep an open mind with that. If that makes sense. I hope I didn't just confuse and lose everybody. What would be the quickest and simplest method for an unhexing? Check out the bone ritual because you could easily use that ritual in a unhexing. That would be one way. Another method, and it also depends on the hex, but most hexes that will cover. Another one would be a black candle ritual where you're using the black candle to break, banish, and destroy the hex as it burns. That's the intent you'll charge it with. You'll make an unhexing. You'll charge it for the purposes of unhexing. You can also anoint it in olive oil. Olive oil has a lot of purifying properties to it, and that's one of its things. If you have holy water, you can also dress it with holy water. Again, same property. If you can get a hold of Florida water, same property. You can also charge your own water. You can also mix cayenne pepper, again, another wonderful unhexing herb, into some oil or water and put that on there. Got dragon's blood oil or dragon's blood incense. You can use that also in your dressing of the candle. And when you light the candle, the candle is going to dissolve the hex as it burns. Those would be the two easiest. I like the bone one because I actually usually have bones on hand because I'm weird like that. But it'd be easier for me to get a hold of a bone than it would a candle this day and age. Those are the ones I would use. Rendini, what should you visualize when centering after grounding? Is there someone should visualize during centering for taking in calm energy? Okay, so after you do your grounding, after you've pushed all that energy out, the easiest way to do this is to see yourself as a container. Make sure the container's full of that calm energy you're talking about. See yourself in your mind's eye as that little container. And when it's full, okay, once it's full, at that point, I want you to balance it and center it. And I want you to center it on your center. Now, what's your center to you? Answer that question. I can't answer it for you. Different people have a different ideal of what is center. And this actually makes sense when you figure not all humans have the same center of gravity. So the fact that we don't all agree on what our same spiritual center is also makes sense. But whatever is the correct answer to what is your center, I want you to center that energy and balance it around that point. And when I say that, you can start to pull the energy into there, make sure it's there, and you're holding it there, but then just let it naturally, again, drift out equally through the body. You're full, you're centered, you're good, you're right there. That's all you need to do. That is the easiest one. Some people don't like to do the full body thing. They will pull the energy in through the center. They'll only focus, they'll only see that center. And as they're pulling the energy in, filling themselves up, they just let it drift naturally until they're sure they're full. And that will work. The visualization depends on the practitioner somewhat because we all have a different thing that makes sense to us, right? Um, that's why there's different energetic maps. Like the chakras are an energetic map. They're not a literal, they're a map, a concept. A lot of people like them. Some people despise them, but there's different ways to handle it. But those are the two easiest that I have found work for most people. The third one is you could actually use the chakras. You could simply actually balance that energy through all the chakras. If you like the chakra system and you've just grounded out all this energy and you just pulled all this energy back in, you can now make sure each chakra is centered. Each chakra is balanced, because essentially when you balance and center the chakras, that's what you're doing. It's the same thing, more complicated, takes more time, but ultimately the same thing. Any of those three methods would work, or you could design your own. Just make sure it is working. Hope that helps some. I'd actually start with probably one of the first two methods, get a feel for what it's like, even if you don't like the visualization, just so you can actually know what it feels like to have that balanced out energy, if that makes sense. Brandon, what's the best dragon if you want order in your life? Dragons don't deal in order, they deal in balance. So it depends on what you mean by order. And no one single dragon deals in it. If you want to work with dragons, you're going to be working with dragons. Check out Dragon Magic 101. That course is fully detailed. It'll get you'll meet your guardian dragon, you'll meet your co-magician. It path works working with the rulers. If you're interested with dragons. Demons, again, it depends on the demon. And demons aren't necessarily beings of order. In fact, I can't think of one that really deals in order. Even the ones that are the strictest don't deal in order. It gets chaotic quick. So that word order, I hate that word, because order often means everything in its place by the rules without moving. Everything's perfectly structured, nice, neat, and clean. This is actually why most people view demons or entities in the infernal category as chaos and angelic entities as order. But again, it depends, because there's plenty of chaotic frickin' angels. And since ultimately they end up being the same entities, it gets tricky. I don't know when it comes to just strict order who I would pick, other than I would go with the dragons and I would focus more on balance, the balance in all things. To me, that is the truest order, because if you're overly strict, if you're using an overly strict, everything in its place, whip cracking kind of order definition, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't touch it with a 20-foot pole. So that's a tricky one. Good question, though. Valid question. And it's a tricky one. But it does somewhat come down to how we look at that term of order. All right, everybody. Jade is throwing clocks at me, and we have run over a little bit. I will see you all next week. Keep an eye out. Let me double check, because I do think this week is our first test of those lives. Yes, it is. No, this week we have a Goetic Spirit video coming out. It'll be next week, will be the first live of the Mage Minded series, where we're going to be doing the live streams with those. And of course, there's going to be a replay. So if you can't make the live stream, don't worry. It's going to be in a replay, just like Magickal Coffee Hour. So you will still be able to watch it. I just think giving people the opportunity to ask questions when you're doing a philosophical video is going to help, because it's going to allow me to talk about things that I might not think about if I just try to shoot, edit, and post. And this is when we're talking about these topics, it's pretty deep on it. And I think it's going to be a beneficial thing. I know it's something new, it's something I've not done before, but hopefully my reasoning makes sense to you all, and hopefully it works the way I'm hoping it'll work. All right. Until next time, everyone, have a fantastic week. Again, consider supporting us. Consider going over to locals. You can find us at workingdragonmystic.com. At top of the page on the tab, you'll see Working Dragon Mystic Layer Community. Click that. It'll take you to the locals community, and consider joining that community as a member or a supporter. We are trying to hit a goal of 50 supporters over there. And every supporter helps us do more, be able to give more back to the community and to create more content and just shoot for our mission goal of sharing this information. Also, if you haven't, go over to the school, see what classes we got. See if there's one you want to sign up. Again, they're lifetime access, and you get all the updates and added material for free also. All right. Till next time, everybody, have a great week. Good night. Bye-bye.